And we have made it to the final challenge in the lesson, Basic String Properties. We're asked to write a function called isNumber, so I can go ahead and get started, which takes a string as an argument and returns the type as a string if the string is indeed a number and the string not a number otherwise. So let's first think about some of the types of input that we might get, right? And we have some examples here. In this case, we have an example 3.1, right? We've got one decimal there, right? We can interpret that as a float if there's a decimal. If there is, if there are characters, right? Alphabet characters, alpha characters, then that's not going to be a number. Also, if there are two periods, then that's not a number, right? It's not a float or an int. Might be like a date or a timestamp or something, but you know, that's not going to work. So we have some sort of things that some edge cases to handle. Also, right? What if the string is empty, right? So let's think about that as well, right? The first thing, right? Let's deal with those last two that I talked about, right? If the string is empty, right? We can say if not string. This is the same as saying if string equals false. You might be saying, Lance, what do you mean if string equals false? It's not a Boolean, right? But we have this idea, truthy and falsy. If a string is empty, it is inherently falsy and it will ring true as false, right? Like if I say X is an empty string, right? And then I print X equals false. It says false. Let me see. I say if not X, print hype. Right? So it won't pass um, an explicit test, right? Like an x double equals false, the Boolean, right? But if we say if x, right, that would be to say if x is truthy, right? If I say x is this is the hype, right? And I say if x print the hype, and I print this, right? When that string is not empty, it's going to be truthy, right? So if x, right, print the hype, but what if I, right, said x was again, right, now x is empty, and if x print the hype, nothing is printed, right? In this case, it's falsy, right? So here we're saying if not string, right? If the string is empty, or the string dot count of the decimals are greater than 2, we know it's not a number, right? Now, what other choices do we have? Let's go ahead and say, let's check each character of the string and make sure they're not exclamation points, dollar signs, letters, right? So let's go for char in my string. Let's say if my char is not in this string, if it's not one of those characters, it ain't a number. Now, I think I've got it narrowed down to int or a float. So now I think I'm going to say if string.count of periods is equal to 1, return float. And if we get all the way through everything else and we don't know, right, there's nothing else it could be, we're only left with int, I think we should be in good shape here. Looks like we actually got an error. Let's see. I'm using a keyword that I shouldn't be. There's no is keyword if char not in. There's no reason to have an is there. Int is equal to not a number. So looks like this has 2 decimals and it's being returned as not a number. I've got greater than 2. Let's go greater than or equal to 2. Or maybe more specifically, it's greater than 1. I'm okay with 1 period, no more than 1 though, right? And now I can see that I get the pass. And they took a pretty similar approach here. Looks like they flipped around this if and return statement, and they also checked this char situation and looked for more than 1 period as well. So that's it for this lesson. We've got one more lesson and we're done with Intro to Python. I'll see you over there in the next videos.